Good afternoon once again, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Austin for the American Grand Prix. Now, here we are in qualifying, and it's actually Danny that set the pace so far in this session. Across the line we come to complete our first lap, and unable to beat her. We're both sitting on 33s at the moment. Across the line we come for our second attempt.
Fantastic. That was the fastest lap.
And we actually pipped her by less than a tenth. Sauber locking out the front row for the first time this season with a decent margin back to P3. Interestingly, Danny actually had the fastest middle and last sectors. It was the first sector that I shaded her in. Now, in the race, just listen. I don't know if you can tell, but that engine noise is not correct. It is heavily glitched, and the only thing that has normal volume for me are the cars around me and Jeff, which wasn't ideal. Anyway, we're out for tyres. This is an all-engine sound for Wayno, but
Your front wing is damaged.
as you can see, he didn't have a great first lap with the crashed car of Murph bouncing back onto the track and not ghosting, unfortunately, for the Red Bull. Really bad luck for Wayno so far this season. He had that teleporting glitch in Spa which threw him across the track and disqualified him, and now that most recently. Now, I had no pace. I couldn't hear my gears when to shift, so I was actually well off the pace where I should be, and I thought Danny better come through. I told her I'm going to put it in lean and come through on this straight the first time DRS was available on lap 3. Unfortunately, we ran side by side for a bit longer than we wanted to, and that allowed Craig, who's been running really well recently, in the top 3 once again, the Renault driver, right onto the rear of my car, and I had to defend for the next few corners quite heavily. As you can see, I'm watching where he is, but also trying to figure out how to drive the car without knowing exactly when to shift. You can see that my rev lights are not optimum because I'm not looking down there, I'm looking at the track and what's happening around me. Usually I'd use the audio cues to know when to shift, and defending into turn 1 is quite difficult, but I managed to effectively do it, and that would be the end of Craig's challenge for now, which was quite a relief at the time. Danny pressed on and extended her lead to around 4 seconds before we all made pit stops. It was Craig who started off the pit stop trend though, and we went in on the end of lap 11. Danny went an extra lap.
Go, go, go.
Maznat had started on a harder compound,
We'll be doing one more stop today. One stop left in our strategy.
so he continued. Craig actually undercut us because he went in 2 laps earlier. You can see he's on the softs there. Both of us going to the end, but we were on a different compound and we should have a bit more grip at this stage of the race. And as you can see, he did not maintain the ideal line through the sweepers. Indeed, got a bit sideways. I had to make sure I didn't run into the back of him and damage my wing. There was an opportunity here, and we also were behind before the DRS detection, which means the move was made and we have a defensive mechanism to deploy at this stage right here. And if we look back, we actually were pulling away at the time. And that was important because the very next lap, Dreglar and Danny pitted. We actually had a massive undercut on Danny, but Dreglar had improved because he started on the super and went to the soft. So that was an interesting difference of strategy. Danny once again would pull away from us.
We're considering switching to an alternate strategy. Do you want to change or stick to plan A?
Maznat has just pitted for the first time in the race, and he is now charging, overtaking Dreglar there for P3 on ultras, and soon enough he was with me. And it was around 3 laps to go when this contact occurred. Really unfortunate. And yeah, around we went, damage to the front wing, and Dreglar would round both of us up. Meanwhile, Danny was well off in the lead, and no one was going to catch her. She came across the line, indeed, not only recording her first podium of the season, but first win, and wow, that's great for her in the championship. P4 now, clear of kart dude. Dreglar, unfortunately for me, gains 3 points, but it won't be too much of a hit because Maznat was kind enough to stay behind, even though he didn't have damage, but we did. He could quite easily have passed us. And yeah, there were some interesting battles to watch towards the end. This one between Craig and Kart Dude. Across the line, very close, and I think Craig snatched it right on the line. So, good last-ditch effort there from him. So there's Danny. Congratulations to her. Big, big congratulations. I think that's her 4th win in PRL history. And Sab will be delighted with a double podium. Anyway, I've been Jacko. See you in Mexico.